Welcome to the Ask Faleskini podcast with a guest. I'm proud to present Monique Blokzyl from Hanover, Germany. Monique is the founder of HeartPowered Business, which has helped hundreds of speakers and entrepreneurs from 50 plus countries with her voice to millions framework to grow their business to 6-7 figures by turning their message into scalable businesses. Monique herself is also an award-winning international speaker, business mentor, podcaster, and published author. Before becoming an entrepreneur, Monique worked for 15 years in different corporate leadership positions. Combining her passion for business with her love for speaking, she helps you turn your message into your golden key to success. Her business mantra is speak up, scale up, impact the world. Monique, please tell us more about yourself. What is your story?
Peter, amazing. Lovely to be here. And I love your interview series. It's so inspiring. And I feel honored to be here with you. And hey, welcome everyone. I know that you are 6-7 figure business owners and you're really making an impact in the world. So what is my story? Where do I start? Well, maybe I should start with saying, well, I'm actually a girl growing up in Eastern Germany, right? And at the time, Eastern Germany was still a communist socialist country, right? And there were hardly any entrepreneurs. People were actually state employed, resources state owned. And still, even while I grew up, okay, at the age of 10, 14, 18, I realized what people need and want, and I gave it to them and made money with it, even as a kid. Even though no one would teach me in the socialist system, right? And I intuitively always have been an entrepreneur. However, I followed the mantra that a lot of us grew up with, which is girl, be good at school, get a good job, live a good life, right? So I studied and at some point, followed a very successful career. And then I got a kick in my butt by destiny. One day I was sitting at my desk and I was getting an email from a friend of mine, and she said, well, Monique, I don't know if you're aware, but Michael just died. And Michael was a soul friend of mine. He was 46 years old, leaving a 5-year-old child behind, dying like this, okay? And interesting enough is shortly after, the year after or so, my boss died, age 46, leaving a 5-year-old child behind. Well, call that coincidence. It wasn't for me. It's like, all these coaches are always asking you the question, right? If you have to die, what do you want to die out of? So we never take these questions seriously until we do. So it was a time of my life where I was in a very thriving, very good corporate career, right? Juggling $1 million budgets, earning 6 figures, driving a shiny company car, all of it. But I realized that was not my passion and purpose. And I started to dig into my life, and I realized that even as a child already, I had that kind of entrepreneurial gene inside of me. So I stepped out, and I could say, hey, and the rest is history. No, it wasn't, right? I stepped out and I thought, like, I know business. I have a global network. Building a small business should be easy. Guess what? It wasn't. I built a business together with 5 partners, right? All smart business people. Most of them haven't been entrepreneurs before, and our business, at that time failed. I lost a lot of money, okay, and I learned 10,000 ways of how not to do it until I found a mentor that helped me and started to show me the way. And I was lucky enough, I worked with a mentor that was really well connected with the who is who of the speaking, training, personal development industry, and she really took me by the hands and showed me how to really get my business going in a solid way. And I think and then I really realized, even though a lot of us are smart, a lot of us have a lot of experience, a lot of us are courageous, still these ingredients are not enough to really build a growing and thriving business. It takes more than that. And often we should learn from people that that know how to do it. Another element, and also, once I started building my business, in the early days, I really doubled my income year after year after year. So every year I doubled my income. And how did that happen? I really used the power of my voice. There's so many entrepreneurs out there that do amazing work. Their clients love them, but they still don't have as many clients as they'd like to. or they're still not growing their business at the speed that they would like to. And what I learned is that if we use our power of our voice, if we use speaking and boosting our visibility, right, everything changes to a different level. So, we all know, like, it's not the best product in the market. It's not the person that has the best product that makes the most money and makes the biggest impact with their business. It's the person that's most known and visible, right? And speaking is a really powerful way to boost visibility. And I don't know, Peter, if you have another question for me, or I
Yes,
can
of
keep
course,
talking
of course.
forever.
I have full of questions. I wrote it down. I just didn't want to interrupt you.
Right, because
Yeah.
maybe one more thing I can say already, give people a little bit of a glimpse into our conversation today as well is, I'm talking about speaking, I'm talking about visibility, but also, we developed actually a framework. We developed something like a visibility booster roadmap to guide people from wherever they are to really help them become outstanding speakers and thought leaders. And once they are, their business is easily, double, triple, 10x and more.
Okay, so really interesting claims. So you made a couple of claims, so I will go through them and ask you in details.
Please do.
So basically, you said that you were an entrepreneur from a really young age,
Yes.
and then you went into corporate job, and then
Yes.
when you started your entrepreneur journey out of the corporate world or out of the previous
Yes.
corporate jobs, you said you have to learn it all from scratch and all on mistake. Do you think there's any other way than learning by doing in entrepreneurship?
Yeah, absolutely. Why did I feel again? Why did I feel that I had to learn from scratch? People say, well, you didn't need to learn from scratch. You were an adult. You had been working in the corporate world for 15 years, right? At some point, I was a global head for pricing and yield management of a big logistics company worldwide, right? Why did I have the feeling I learned from scratch? Because I still believe if you're employed in a job and then we want to build a bridge to building our own business, we need to think differently, feel differently, network differently, act differently. Everything in a way is different. When I stepped out of that job, I had a big global network of employed people, and I'm not judging that at all. People that are employed are equally beautiful human beings as people that are running their own business, right? But still, we act in a different way when we know we have a solid monthly sales, monthly salary check. We act in a different way when we have the whole responsibility on our own shoulders to bring in the money to pay to build our own team, to build our own infrastructure, to build our own team. When, before someone was telling us what to do and how to do it, and now we need to make a decision. And like Peter, right? You're a king in your kingdom, I'm a queen in my queendom. Suddenly everything becomes possible. We need to make choices on our own side. So that's not easy. That's overwhelming. Right. And also when we are even a lot of you are entrepreneurs, right? You are running 6 figures, multiple 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever, however else your business is. Still, there's moments in our life where things run smoothly and okay, right? And we could always say, well, do we always need to keep growing? I feel that we have a responsibility, that we all have a gift. If we can share that gift with more people and bring our products and services to more people, I don't think we only have an opportunity to do that. We have a responsibility to do this, right? And is there another way? Could I have done it differently? Yes. I could have found the right mentor faster. When I stepped out of the corporate world, I wasn't even familiar with how do you build yourself a support team? I didn't know, yes, I knew there were coaches, but I didn't know there were mentors. And there's, by the way, a big difference between coaches and mentors, right? Coaches help you find what's already inside you by asking the right questions. Mentors are like a GPS in business. They understand where you are, they understand where you want to go, and they can show you the fastest way to get there because they've been on their journey already, right? No one taught me about a mentoring concept. No one taught me about accountability partnership. No one taught me about masterminds. No one taught me about having an advisory board. When you're in a job, you don't have these things normally, right?
Yeah, but you don't need them because in a job, your job is to do your part of the process.
Exactly.
And when you're an entrepreneur, you need to take care of the whole of every process in the company, not just yours. And this is the biggest,
Exactly.
let's say, difference.
Right. And that is a support environment you need to build also when you want to step up as a speaker, when you want to grow your business, right? So also when you want to boost your visibility, because you can be as extensive as you want to be on social media or other platforms, or even as a speaker. If you do not have other people eventually that you have to cross promote you, to get the word out for you, to become ambassadors, and amplifiers and multipliers for you, you always just play a smaller game.
Okay, so we covered the mentor. I'll pose $1 million question: how to find a good mentor that is really the best fit for you?
Right.
How would you recommend our listeners to find the mentor? Where to look for the mentor?
Okay. So where do you look for a mentor? Well, you have them right here, right now, right? So Peter, I know you're an amazing mentor to entrepreneurs, right? I know that from experience, right? If you resonate with me and you feel like you really want to use speaking and boost your visibility and build a more scalable business structure, I'm a mentor for that, right? I help people really go professional with their speaking, right? A lot of people are out there and they speak and it's great. And then when I ask them, but are you being paid to speak? No, I'm not. Okay. But are you getting clients from your speaking? Not really. Well, but here's the thing. Here's what one of my friends once said. He said, you can be as much in love with whatever you do. If you're not being rewarded, you fall out of love. At least in business, giving and receiving needs to be in balance. Mm-hmm. So we love to see people not only sharing their message, but also receiving back, either by being paid as a keynote speaker, or at least by attracting clients and getting indirectly paid, right? Mm-hmm. So, yes, I get paid a few €1,000s when I speak, and I'm paid directly as a keynote speaker. And often as well, I'm speaking for free, but then I attract clients and I make 10 times what I'm normally paid as a keynote speaker, right? So, you asked me a question, so how do I find a mentor? So sometimes the mentors are just right in front of you. So if you want someone, if you want to step up with your speaking, go professional with your speaking, or you want to really, grow your business and build more scalable business concepts so you can serve more people with less time, and you want to build business structures and and systems to make that happen, well, I'm happy to have a conversation. However, just in general, if you feel you are looking for a mentor, you're not sure yet if Peter or I are the right mentors, or you look for someone else, I'd like to also answer your question, Peter. I always work with a mentor. Okay, I always have a mentor that is 10 steps ahead of me, right? And that can really get me to move forward. Okay. Or a mentor that's at least where I want to go next. So first of all, as I said, how do you find a mentor? You need to be crystal clear on where are you and what do you want to make happen next. Then you find a mentor that is there already, that has been on that journey and got the success that you want to make your next success story. Okay. And there might still be several of these mentors out there. So you want to ask yourself 3 questions. Once you have different people in mind, okay? One question is, do I resonate with that person? Is there a heart-to-heart connection, right? Our business is called HeartPowered Business, because I believe our heart holds a tremendous power, and everything juicy in life and business comes from heart-to-heart connection, right? So the question is, do you have a connection with that person? Do you feel good? Do you feel trust, right? That's the first question. You really need to, be kind of, feeling good with each other. The second question you want to ask is that person someone that runs a business or has been on their journey and, and get the results and get the success that you want next? Does that mentor have that experience? So if you want to go with your business from 6 to 7 figures, right? Find someone that is there. Find someone that, is making that money, right? Because they know what kind of inner game you need to win, right? And what structures you need to build to get there, right? or at least find someone, even if they are not making 7 figures yet, but that has helped many people, or that has helped quite a few businesses already to get there, right? Because if you want to win Wimbledon as a tennis player, okay, you don't necessarily need to work with a mentor or a coach that has won Wimbledon, but you need to work with someone that has brought people that won Wimbledon, so they know how to get you there too, right? So that's the second thing. Is that person someone that knows how to get you there? And the third question is, the way that mentor works, does that resonate with you, right? It's not only can that mentor get you there, but is how the mentor can get you there and how you would be working together, does that resonate with you, right? So these are the questions. And where do you find them? Often they're already right in front of you. If not, ask people in that field. You can even reach out to Peter. You can reach out to me, right? You know, connect on LinkedIn and say, hey, I am looking for a mentor in that field. We probably have someone for you if it's not me.
Thank you. That is great insight. I would also like to get a bit out of you, a bit more about the network. You mentioned that when you were in a corporate job, you had a huge network. But when you start an entrepreneur, let's say becoming an entrepreneur, or you just jumped in being entrepreneur,
yes.
Then you need a completely different network.
Yes.
Can you describe the difference between employee network and the network of an entrepreneur?
Okay. So, okay, let me give you an example. When I stepped out of my corporate job and I built my business, okay, I realized that I needed to get visible. And I knew even already back then, I was already a paid speaker. So I've been a paid speaker for more than 20 years. I've been on stages in more than 25 countries all over the world. And I knew that speaking would help me gain the visibility to attract the right clients. And it happened, okay? But also I knew to be able to make that happen, I said, I need to speak at more prestigious stages, at more prestigious events with bigger audiences. And I want to, more prestigious, bigger audience with more prestigious leaders, right? And I did, within actually 2 years, I spoke quite a few times at stages, to audiences of quite a few hundred people, up to 3,500 people. I got to share the stage with amazing leaders at the time. For example, in Malaysia, with the back then Malaysian Prime Minister, Najib Razak, or, with John Kerry, the back then Foreign Minister of the US, right? Or, amazing, outstanding entrepreneurs. I made it happen, but I knew I would only get there if I got help in 2 ways. One, if I had a mentor or if I had someone that would show me the way of how to do it. And B, if I would take other people along the way that are that are also on that journey, and ideally that are a couple of steps ahead of me, or that are actually going as I'm going and growing as I'm growing, okay? And it's also the same thing. When you want to go from 6 to 7 figures, you want to surround yourself more with people that are already making multiple 6 or 7 figures, right? So, again, whenever we grow, whenever we expand with our business in some way, or speaking or our visibility or anything else, we need to surround ourselves more with people that are on this journey. Why? People that are on that journey are hungry to learn and grow. There's bunches of information. They will collect tools, systems, methods that help them to get there faster. And when they discover them, they can share them with you, and you can share them with them. You see? So again, whenever you want to grow, you want to surround yourself with people that are on that path and with people that are ahead of you. So you fast track, your own journey, and you avoid the mistakes they might have probably already made because they tell you. So this is why, when I built my business also now, I am on my way to 7 figures, I'm making quite a few 6 figures. And again, I surround myself with people that are actually ahead of that. So for example, I built myself a mastermind with 7-figure entrepreneurs, so I can learn and benefit from their expanded way of thinking, from their connections, right? From their ideas. They give me input and ideas that, that people that are not there yet will never be able to give me. And that's why the power of network is so important, Peter.
Okay, is there any hint how to build your network?
Yes. Okay, again, one great way is speaking. Another great way is visibility.
Okay, so
So
there's no way around this too.
Okay, so let me go step by step. Okay, so how did I build my network? I went out there I went out there with what I was already good at when I started, which was speaking, right? As I said, I was already a paid speaker. I stepped out, I spoke more. I spoke at bigger stages, more prestigious events and so on. That way, I got to, connected with amazing entrepreneurs. Okay, so I went to where the people are that I was looking for. So I went and spoke at entrepreneurial events. I went to speak at women in business events. I went to speak at professional speaker events, right? And again, over time, I mean, the last 10 years, and that's what people always say, Monique, it's amazing the network you've built, right? And also you want to work with a mentor that can not only teach you and guide you, you want to work with a mentor that can open you doors, right? So, like for example, recently I went to Singapore and I was speaking in Singapore, and I said, well, yes, I'm going to be speaking there, and I want to create my own speaking platforms. So, with a friend of mine from South Africa, we ran our own event. Said, good, running event is cool, but I need to have people in the room, right? So again, I reached out to someone that I know, and she connected me with someone that helped us coordinate the event. So then again, she tapped into her network and she invited people from her side. At the same time, I looked at how many people do I know in Singapore, and that was already about 120, right? So again, we connected with them, and again, we said, hey, bring along friends. So this is how you expand your network. You tap into the network you have to get connected to people, they know. And, and also, as I said, you speak. Speaking opens you incredible doors to communities, to exclusive communities you didn't even know existed, right? So, for example, one day I spoke somewhere in The Hague, and, one of the speakers, I connected with her beforehand, okay? And before I went, she said, oh, we are running a networking gathering evening. Don't you want to come? I went. Guess what? On that event, also the event organizer showed up, okay, and a couple of other speakers from all over the world, expanding of network. So we need to be out there, right? And again, there's so many concrete things you can do. By the way, Peter, also, if you care, I created actually something that I call my Speak to Scale map, okay, or checklist, with my top 50 ways of what I do before I speak, while I'm on stage, and after I step off stage, what I do to grow my network, what I do to boost my reputation, what I do to boost my visibility, what I do to turn my speaking into earning more.
Could we include this in description below?
Of course not, Peter. Well, of course, I mention it because I'm happy to share it, right?
Together that would be great, so that people
together with
can
our
see
amazing visibility booster roadmap. So again, there's a lot of things you can do to grow your network by boosting your visibility. The more visible you are, the more people start coming to you instead of you knocking on people's doors.
Okay, great. I have one question that I get asked a lot from people that would like to start speaking. How hard is so one of the events, and most of people that will watch this on YouTube, I'm sure that they've already seen a TEDx talk.
Yes.
These are really popular, or this is really popular platform all over the world for speaking. How hard is to prepare yourself if you never spoke before for a speak on to have a speaking engagement on TEDx?
Okay,
How many speaking engagement prior to that you would recommend for people before they go to TEDx?
Okay, I have good news for you. Okay, because I've been speaking, I haven't given my own TEDx speech yet. It's still on my list, but I'm connected with a lot of I'm connected with people that run TEDx platforms. I'm connected with people that have spoken at TEDx. I'm connected with people that are TEDx speech mentors and coaches and so on, right? So I just need to really get my butt moving and do one myself as well. Okay, but
yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, can't wait. It's definitely on my agenda. So, but anyhow, but I have good news for you, okay? Because I haven't spoken at TEDx, but I've spoken at a lot of procedure stages where normally it takes quite a bit of knowing how, how to get accepted there as a speaker. It's same with TEDx, right? So with TEDx, I have good news for you, because TEDx, as you know, right, their mantra is ideas worth spreading. So they're not actually looking for professional speakers. They're looking for speakers that have an idea worth spreading. So, I don't know if you've never spoken before, it might be a little tricky, right? You definitely, because even to apply to speak at TEDx, you need to actually go through quite a process. For example, one of the first steps is you need to actually submit an application, and you need to include a little video where you give a little speech about your topic, right? And you want to well prepare that, okay? And my suggestion is that you work with a good speaker that can help you prepare that, or even better, you find a TEDx speech coach, or even better, someone that runs a TEDx platform, right? That is in your circle of friends that can tell you, what does it take, what should be in the video, but I think honestly, if you just watch a couple of TEDx speeches, you know what kinds of speaking requirements there are to prepare your own video, right? However, so that is related to TEDx, right? So yes, you need to actually have a little bit of speaking experience. If you have absolutely zero speaking experience, okay, at all, ever, I recommend you join a platform called Toastmasters, okay? So Toastmasters is one of the best public speaking trainings on the planet. And I have been a Toastmasters many years. When I moved to Belgium in 2005, we had four clubs at a time. When I left Belgium 8 years later, we had 17. I was actively involved in supporting the growth of the network. I've seen how many people flourish when they start speaking. So if you have no experience whatsoever, join Toastmasters, okay? If you do have experience, okay, rather, go above and beyond Toastmasters to speak. Find speaking opportunities. And Peter, we are actually running a program that's a professional speakers launch program that is going over 8 weeks for everyone that wants to go professional with their speaking. We really teach them the basic 8 steps of how to step up with their speaking. We help them get clear on why they want to speak more, what type of speaker they want to be, what is their unique story and message that only they have in that way, right? What is their right audience? How to craft a powerful keynote speech that sells, right? What's the right stage? How to select the right and find the right stage? How to make sure you get booked on that stage? How you position yourself as a speaker? How you boost your visibility as a speaker? And eventually how you build a bridge from free to paid speaking. The basics of that 8 week. So if that is something that resonates with you, I can also share that link with you, Peter.
Yeah, that would be great that we can share it with our listeners. Okay. We're running out of time a bit. So is there anything else you would like our listeners to take from this interview? Any quick tips or any trade secrets that you can share?
Okay. I would like to start sharing something that a friend of mine who's an amazing speaker as well said to me. He said, Monique, okay, when we have a message, we don't only have the opportunity to share it with people on stage, we have the responsibility to do it. So if you have already, I think all of us have been on this planet for quite a while already. We've been on many rodeos. We've learned 1 or 2 things. We've built a successful business. There's a lot of people that want to learn and grow based on our experience too, right? So again, I would say if you run a successful business, step up with your speaking for different reasons. A, step into you sharing responsibility for sharing what you know with more people. Touch more lives, help more people to bring their business up to it in a different way. Also, helping others is great, or you help yourself. The more you are actually stepping into the world of speaking, you need to structure your thoughts into a speech. You need to package what you do into a framework, into something digestible for your audience. So again, it helps you actually to, once you're more clear on what do I do and how do I do it and why am I so successful, you start actually creating a framework of a success framework that others could use as well. Then you can turn that framework into speeches that inspire others around the world. You can turn it into additional products and services that you don't only inspire others, but you guide them and help them, take them by the hand and transform them step by step. So you start building more scalable offers in your business. In the end, it helps you grow your business as well, right? So again, I mean, I'd like to really, I'm also here, Peter, you and I discussed that, right? I'm also here if you want to have a conversation, a quick chat, like what does it take for you to step out with your speaking, to become a professional speaker, to get your message out there in a greater way. We are happy to have a quick coffee chat with you, right? And give you some concrete hints and tips to looking at where you are with your speaking or your business, looking at where you want to go next. So we're going to share that link with you as well. And I'd like to really say, whatever you do right now, wherever you are right now, okay, speak up, share your message with more people for you and your business growth, and for more business owners and entrepreneurs and whoever you serve normally, right? So speak up, but also scale up. Stop just selling your time. Build a business framework that allows you to serve more people without investing more of your time. We always say our greatest service is in multiplying ourselves, right? Okay. So scale up your business, build a product and services that are scalable, build a system structure you need, upgrade your mindset, right? And really focus your time on serving the greater way more people, right? So that all of us in that way make a bigger impact in the world together. So I just say, I'd like to end with our mantra: speak up, scale up, impact the world.
Thank you very much for all these insights. I will include all the links where our listeners can reach you below in the description. And thank you again, Monique, for being my guest tonight.
Yeah, very welcome. And Peter, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And all of you, okay, start turning learning into doing, right? And let me know as well. I know, Peter, you're sharing it on LinkedIn and on other platforms. I'd like to know, what are you taking away? What are you taking action on? And what results do you get from it? And in any case, let's connect on LinkedIn. I'm happy to share our speak to scale map, our visibility booster roadmap, right? And also the link to our speaker journey and to our coffee chat. So I look forward to connect with you and have a chat.
Okay, thank you.